So T1 and Flyquest just faced off in MSI, and at least in game 1, T1 beat Flyquest in about 17 and a half minutes. And, however embarrassing that is as a North American fan, and no doubt as Flyquest themselves, I think it really raises a big picture question outside of just that individual game. And I think the topic at hand here is more to do with, will the West ever be able to catch up to the East? For years, the only Western team that has had any competition with the East has been G2. Not since 2018 with the Cloud9 run at Worlds. And I want to kind of talk a little bit about, will it ever be different? Will the West ever catch up? And to put it quite frankly, well, at least in the case of North America, I really think the answer is no. And it really comes down to the culture of the region. Korean and Chinese teams have players playing League from 9 and 10 years old onwards. They're recruiting 14 and 15-year-old players exclusively to their amateur and academy teams. They're starting playing League as their livelihood from their childhood, essentially. League of Legends are these people's lives in the eastern regions. They commit 100% of their time to playing the game and being the best at the game. And frankly, just culturally speaking, that's never going to happen in North America. Especially since the pro-competitive center of League in North America is in Los Angeles. What does this mean? That instead of getting better at the game and spending all of our time playing and getting better, we're spending the time eating McDonald's and, just generally not investing enough time into, actually trying to be the best. Americans in the culture we live in crave instant gratification and pleasure above all else. And so these pro players don't want to put in the necessary time, effort, and work to compete, really compete internationally and really be competitive with the best teams in the world. It's just culturally not something that we prioritize here, not even relatively close to the way that the eastern regions do. And so, with that being said, I don't think North America is ever going to be competitive internationally. I think that G2, as long as Caps is there, will continue to be competitive with the East. But outside of G2, I don't see any other European teams really being competitive. Maybe Fnatic can do something here at MSI. But it really is just a culture gap. Again, these Eastern teams commit their whole life to being the best at League, and that's never going to happen in the West ever. We can construct super team rosters, we can do this and that, but it comes down to the culture and the willingness to put the time and effort in. Maybe the gap can close a little bit, but generally speaking, I don't really see the competition increasing between regions. And it's really unfortunate to see, because as a North American myself and a North American fan and supporter, I want to see these teams compete well and at least be able to test and challenge the Eastern teams at the least. At the very let alone take a game off of them, And in the current state of things, in the current trend, I don't see that happening. And it's mostly, in my opinion, because of the culture gap. So that's just something I wanted to talk about briefly. I don't really have a whole lot of other thoughts. Losing a game in 17 and a half minutes in an international tournament is quite embarrassing. But hey, we beat Mad Lions, and as a North American fan, that's really all I can ask for. Beating Europe is definitely the top priority at this point. And so, Mad Lions lost in 1647 to T1. Flyquest lost in, just like we beat them by a minute. So we take what we can get. Every little small victory counts. But yeah, just generally, I wanted to bring up that topic. Let me know what you guys think down in the description about the whole culture gap and whether or not you think the West will ever be able to catch up and compete with the Eastern teams internationally. I'd be curious to know your thoughts on that one. Thanks for watching. See you next time.